paperback slipped onto the floor, breaking the silence of the room. You bent to pick it up, just as the sunlight crossed your shoulder. Dust floated through the air like tiny stars without a sky. And for a second, everything seemed slower than before. I didn't know your name, didn't know where you came from, but something about that moment stayed with me long after it was gone. Maybe it was nothing, maybe it was chance, but somehow I kept replaying it again and again. There was a girl by the window, standing where the daylight fell, turning an ordinary afternoon into a story I can never tell. There was a girl by the window, and something quietly began. Not a promise, not a dream, just the start of wandering. The pages moved beneath your fingers as the hours drifted by. Outside, the world continued spinning, cars and conversations passing through. But inside that little corner, time seemed different somehow, like a scene from a forgotten movie finding its way back now. You smiled at something that you read and looked beyond the glass to places I could only guess, and futures I could never ask about. Funny how a stranger can leave a mark without a single word. There was a girl by the window, standing where the daylight fell, turning an ordinary afternoon into a story I can never tell. There was a girl by the window, and something quietly began. Not a promise, not a dream, just the start of wondering. I wasn't searching for anything at all, no missing piece, no grand romance, no sign from above. Yet there you were, a moment wrapped in sunlight, and somehow the world felt different after that. Turning of a page, the book was finally closed. The daylight faded slow, but the image stayed long after you were gone. The train arrived 3 minutes early, and somehow there you were again, standing near the station map, like a scene I've already seen. A blue umbrella by your side, a loose strand dancing in the breeze. I looked away for just a moment, then caught myself looking again. It's strange how someone unfamiliar can start feeling familiar without even knowing your name. Maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's luck, but lately the world feels smaller every time we cross paths. Every time you pass by, something shifts inside me, like a favorite song finding its way back unexpectedly. Every time you pass by, the ordinary changes shape, turning simple moments into something I can't explain. The coffee shop on Cedar Street, the bookstore near the park, a traffic light on Friday evening, a sunny corner after dark. Different places, different days, yet somehow you're always there. And every unexpected meeting leaves another thought to carry home with me. I tell myself it's nothing, just another face in the crowd, but my heart never seems convinced. Funny how anticipation can arrive before a reason. Every time you pass by, something shifts inside me, like a favorite song finding its way back unexpectedly. Every time you pass by, the ordinary changes shape, turning simple moments into something I can't explain. I wonder what makes you laugh, I wonder where you're headed, I wonder what stories are hidden behind your eyes. Maybe someday I'll find the courage to replace these questions with a conversation. Soft piano, light bass groove, gentle pop drums. Every time you pass by, the world feels a little brighter, like sunlight finding windows after days of cloudy weather. Every time you pass by, a possibility appears and lingers just a little longer than before. The train doors close slowly and carry you away, leaving behind another memory to think about all day. A yellow sticky note remained on the corner of the table, a simple doodle, nothing more. At least that's what I told myself. The morning carried little secrets hidden in ordinary things, where there aren't any at all. But lately every little moment feels connected somehow. 1,000 tiny signs are floating through my mind, little pieces of a puzzle I'm always trying to find. 1,000 tiny signs in every word and every smile, making my heart believe for just a little while. You remembered my favorite drink without me ever saying much, and somehow that stayed with me. Long after the conversation, the afternoon moved slowly while my thoughts ran far ahead, replaying every sentence and every look you sent, a shared laugh in the hallway, a message with no reason why, moments so small nobody else would notice, but I do every single time. It's funny how uncertainty can feel so beautiful when hope decides to visit. Without permission, 1,000 tiny signs are floating through my mind, little pieces of a puzzle I'm always trying to find. 1,000 tiny signs in every word and every smile, making my heart believe for just a little while. Maybe they're only coincidences, maybe they're nothing new, maybe my imagination is painting everything in brighter colors, but even if that's true, I don't really mind, because the possibility feels wonderful tonight. Tiny signs leading somewhere I can't see, but every one of them feels like a step toward you. The day comes to a quiet close, the sky fades into blue, and I fall asleep wondering if you've been noticing me too. The empty chair beside me wasn't empty after all. You set your bag down carefully and smiled before you spoke. The room kept moving normally, conversations filled the air, yet somehow all my attention settled quietly right there. The weather wasn't interesting, neither was the traffic news, but every ordinary sentence felt completely new. Funny how a simple hello can change an entire day. One seat away, close enough to hear you laugh, close enough to notice every little photograph you painted with your words. One seat away, and suddenly the distance I'd imagined for so long didn't seem so far at all. something made you happy. The hours disappeared unnoticed, like pages turning in a book. Every answer led to another question. Every glance invited a second look. I learned your favorite season, you learned mine. Two tiny details becoming treasures. Before I even knew, nothing dramatic happened, yet everything felt different. One seat away, close enough to hear you laugh, close enough to notice every little photograph you painted with your words. One seat away, and suddenly the distance I'd imagined for so long didn't seem so far at all. Maybe some moments arrive quietly, without music announcing them, without fireworks in the sky, without anyone noticing, except the two people living them. And somehow that makes them even better. One seat away, close enough to know your smile was every bit as warm as I imagined all this while. One seat away, and something gently changed. The story I'd been writing would never be the same. The chairs are empty now, the evening settles low, but I leave with something new, a conversation I don't wanna let go. A notification lights the room for half a second, then disappears. I reach before I even think, only to find it isn't you again. A laugh escapes at how predictable I've become, checking the same screen, like the answer might have changed since the last time. I wasn't like this yesterday. Something shifted, and now every silence feels different when your name appears. Everything else fades away. A simple little message can completely change my day. When your name appears, the ordinary comes alive, turning seconds into sparks every single time. I tell myself to stay busy, read another page, watch another show, find another distraction, but every thought takes the same road back to you. The conversation from this afternoon still lingers in my mind, the way you said goodbye, as if you wanted one more reason to stay a little longer. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, maybe that's true, but it feels impossible not to. When your name appears, everything else fades away. A simple little message every single time. It's funny how a few words can carry so much weight. How a glowing screen can suddenly feel important. How anticipation can make the smallest things feel enormous and beautiful. The screen lights up again. I reach without thinking, and this time it's you. The bakery on Maple Avenue still smells the way it always did. The traffic still moves slowly at the corner near the bridge. Nothing around me has changed. Everything remains the same. Yet somehow every ordinary day feels completely rearranged. I catch myself smiling for reasons I can't explain, and every road I take somehow circles back again. I try to call it curiosity, I try to call it chance, but neither one feels honest anymore. This feels like something different, something I've never known. A feeling growing quietly without asking to be shown. This feels like something different, like colors coming into view, and every thought keeps leading back to you. A favorite song starts playing, and suddenly it sounds brand new. A conversation from last week still echoes like a melody. The smallest things remind me of moments we have shared, and every memory arrives with a little extra warmth. The days move forward normally, but something underneath has changed. Like a story finding direction without revealing the ending. Maybe there's no perfect moment to understand the heart. Maybe it simply happens before we notice. It feels like something different, something I've never known. A feeling growing quietly without asking to be shown. This feels like something different, like colors coming into view, and every thought keeps leading back to you. I don't need answers yet, I don't need certainty. Maybe there's something beautiful about not knowing everything, about standing at the beginning of something that could become a memory worth keeping for a very long time. The evening settles softly across the window pane, and I smile, knowing tomorrow I'll be thinking of you again. The clock above the coffee shop has barely moved at all. I've checked it 4 or 5 times now, maybe even more. The chair across from mine waits quietly in place, and every person passing by makes my heartbeat change. A silver spoon spins slowly inside a cooling cup. The world keeps moving normally, but I'm completely stuck between excitement and uncertainty, between calm and chaos too, waiting for a single moment to arrive with you. I've never noticed how long a minute feels until today. These are the longest 5 minutes I've ever lived through. Every second stretches farther as I'm waiting here for you. The longest 5 minutes, 1,000 thoughts collide, trying to act collected while fireworks fill my mind. The playlist overhead keeps changing, one song into another. People laugh and tell their stories without a single worry. A bicycle rolls past the window, sunlight dances on the glass, and somehow everything around me feels brighter than it has. I wonder what you say first, I wonder how you'll smile, I wonder if you'll notice I've been nervous all the while. Questions fill the empty spaces like pages yet unread, writing possible the door swings open, a familiar silhouette appears, and every nervous thought that filled the room begins to disappear. The waiting fades, the noise grows quiet, everything falls into place. And all the minutes I was counting lead me to your face. The afternoon moves on, but I wouldn't change a single moment. A paper cup rests on the railing beside the one you're holding now. The evening carries laughter through the streets we're walking down. A breeze arrives without warning and brushes through your hair. You look away for just a moment, then catch me looking there. The world feels slightly softer than it did a week ago, like every step beside you leads somewhere I want to go. No one says the words we're both thinking, yet somehow they fill the air. Under the summer lights, everything feels new. Every conversation leads me closer to you. Under the summer lights, time forgets to run, and every ordinary moment feels touched by something beautiful. A melody escapes the doorway as we pass another cafe. People drift through intersections while the sky changes shades. You tell a story from your childhood, I tell one back to you, and somehow all the little pieces start connecting into something true. I never planned this feeling, I never saw it coming near, but now every shared smile feels impossible to ignore. The distance that once existed under the summer lights. Time forgets to run, and every ordinary moment feels touched by something beautiful. Your shoulder brushes mine for only half a second, yet somehow it stays with me long after it happens. The evening glows around us like it knows something we don't, and for the first time I begin to wonder if you're feeling this too. Pages turning slowly toward a moment still untold. The evening grows quieter as we start heading home, but neither of us seems ready to say goodbye. The ice in my glass had nearly melted while neither of us moved. 1,000 conversations had already passed between our eyes. The room continued quietly. People came and went, yet everything beyond this table felt distant somehow. You looked like you were carrying something carefully inside, a sentence waiting patiently for the perfect time. And suddenly the air felt different, like the world was holding still. Right before you spoke, the seconds stretched like years. Every heartbeat painted colors brighter than before. Right before you spoke, I could almost feel it coming, like standing at the shoreline, waiting for the wave. A nervous smile crossed your face, then disappeared again. Your fingers traced circles round the edge of your cup. The smallest movements became impossible to miss, as though every little gesture carried hidden meaning. I wanted people, sharing one fragile moment that neither wanted to lose. You opened your mouth to finally say something, and my heart forgot how to count the seconds. A maple leaf drifted across the sidewalk, caught in a wandering breeze. The world looked exactly the same as it had 1,000 times before. The traffic lights still changed colors, the cafe still filled with voices. The afternoon continued normally, without announcing what was coming. Yet something invisible was already beginning to rewrite the shape of this day. I could hear my heart beat somewhere between silence and hope. The moment everything changed was quieter than I imagined. No fireworks crossed the sky, no music filled the air. The moment everything changed was simply you standing there, looking at me like I'd been part of your story too. The words arrived gently, as though they had been waiting for the courage to exist. You smiled before speaking, then laughed halfway through, like even you couldn't believe the truth had finally found its way out. Every uncertain thought, every unanswered question, every hopeful guess began connecting into something real, like stars finally finding the constellations they belong to. For a second, time forgot to move. The moment everything changed, the world became brighter somehow. Every ordinary detail shimmered with new meaning. The moment everything changed, a future quietly appeared, where before there had only been possibilities. All the waiting, all the wondering, all the tiny signs led here. The passing glances, the unexpected meetings, the messages, the conversations, the laughter, the anticipation. Every chapter turning toward this page, and suddenly the story was no longer only mine. I saw tomorrow differently, and for the first time, the future felt close enough to reach. The evening settled softly around the streets we knew. You took my hand, and somehow everything felt new.